What's going on, Ambitious Vets? Welcome to episode number 38 of the Ambitious Vet Show with 8-time author, Air Force veteran, and business strategist, Rob Garcia. Welcome to the Ambitious Vet. My name is Chris Hoffman, Marine Combat veteran turned passion-driven entrepreneur. Now guys, we are here to dive into the trenches with today's top-performing military veterans that were once warrior-made, but are now passion-driven. Now guys, as they share their stories, their failures, and their journeys of what it took, guys, we just hope that this unlocks your secret formula to living a more impactful, meaningful, and top-performing civilian life. What's going on, Ambitious Veteran? It's episode number 38. It's being released on February 23rd of 2019, guys. And I just want to take this time to just thank you for being a loyal listener. More importantly, to just investing in yourself. There's not a lot of veterans that are out there that are willing to listen to confronting content like the Ambitious Vet podcast, to hear raw stories of people that have gone in the trenches, through hell and back, to actually make a name for themselves out of the uniform. So guys, first and foremost, I just want to acknowledge you. And for that, guys, I want to actually offer a free gift to every listener that listens to this episode. And I want to invite you over to the Ambitious Vet Tribe Facebook group, where we're starting a 5-day challenge on Monday, which is going to be February 25th. Of 2019. For those of you guys that listen to this after this, sorry, you can still come into the tribe and still download that MT 5x5 Ambitious Vet PDF. But guys, if you do listen to it, guys, I'm excited. I want you guys to come in and embark on a 5-day challenge where we've designed a brand new concept, goal setting strategy, guys, that you guys can get so clear on aiming downrange and hitting black every time with this new MT 5x5 Ambitious Vet formula that we created, which is designed for you guys to inspire new independent thought, tactics, strategies, and inspire new resources, guys, to help live a more fulfilled, passionate, and progressive life out of the uniform, guys. And that's just building up for a launch of our Ambitious Vet 12-week group program, guys, scheduled to be launched March 13th, which is a program on steroids to help you guys execute that next mission out of the uniform, guys. If you guys have not heard about that program, we just finalized the 5 subject matter experts that are going to be coming into that program to just accelerate your guys' results in there. We've got Stephen Kuhn, the Hitman, coming in. We've got Dan Dwyer from Vet to Biz Life coming in. We got Otis McGregor from LTO Enterprises. We have John Golden from Golden LLC, who is one of the founding fathers and thought leaders of today's age, forwarding the concept of core values. And we got John Krotek from Green Zone Hero, who has well over 20 years of business experience as well. So guys, if you are an ambitious vet that is looking to elevate your life, your purpose, your impact out of the uniform, guys, I would at least go to vettrainingcoaching.com and look at the sprint. See if it speaks your language. If it does, hit apply. We're only accepting 20 regular spots, and we got 5 VIP spots available for any ambitious vet that's ready to just draw a line in the sand and get their next mission done. You'll be able to see all the cool results that we've been able to get from the previous sprint inside that website as well. Guys, I'm excited for this next episode. Let's go ahead and introduce today's guest. Today, we're going to have Dr. Rob Garcia on the show. He's a former high school and college dropout turned PhD that turned his life around through speed learning, guys. By applying his military training to business, he was able to create his own magazine and self-publish 8 books. He's a speaker, author, and business strategist out here in San Diego, guys. He's self-proclaimed the Warrior Strategist, and he's probably one of the most recognized faces online inside the veteran community as far as setting clear battle plans to execute with velocity and impact in your business, guys. I'm excited for this episode. He gets real, raw. I got him right after he came back from like a 7-8 month deployment to Iraq where he lost his mother while he was out there. He explains what he learned from that experience and why he's so driven. He shares clear, practical tips on how to make immediate impact and revenue increase inside your business right now. Guys, without further ado, I don't want to give it all away, guys. I want you to sit back, pull out a pen and paper, and let's go ahead and dive into the trenches with Rob Garcia. You there, brother?
I'm here, Chris, and wow, what a wild introduction. I want to thank you, and that's a metric shit ton of value. Sorry to correct you, but let's.
Oh, bring it, man! Bring the $10 words. We like them in here.
Yeah, I like your tactical netting. I never even noticed that before. That's incredible. There's so much Marine in you. It's just embarrassing. Wow.
Come on, man. Come on. Well, hey, brother, thanks for joining the Ambitious Vet Live Show. I know we've been trying to do this for a long time, man. I'm excited to dive into the trenches with you. So that introduction doesn't do any justice. Let us know who Rob Garcia is as just a human being.
Yeah, man. I'm just a normal, average guy that grew up in a small logging town called Eureka, California in Humboldt County. And the reason I bring this up is because I want your audience to understand that we all have abilities and gifts, even if other people don't always recognize it or give us the respect or reverence that we're due. And I'm as plain as anybody. And that means if I've done these things, anyone can do these things, whether you were in the Army for 2 years or whether you've been a Marine for 20 years, whoever. I want you guys to know that I hope I inspire you to push yourself to be who you can be.
Love it, man. Love it. And you have a pretty damn good story too, man. So let's dive into that. You know me, I don't kind of like beat around the bushes, man. Let's dive into what had you actually join the military, man. Let's kind of dive into your journey.
Yeah, man. I grew up in a really rough family, and through a series of just misadventures, I had a learning disability that never got diagnosed because I'm a little older than you, Chris. And so back in my day, we didn't have IEPs or specialized drugs or anything. So if you're like me and you can't sit still and you have ADD in a classroom, you can't focus. I failed out of high school. I failed out of 2 colleges. And by the time I was 19, I was living in Phoenix, sleeping on the floor, and I couldn't afford meat. I was living off rice, and I had no hope, man. I lost my job the same week I was kicked out of school. Like, I had nothing. And I remember walking home and thinking, this is the worst time of my life. And so I joined the Air Force. I took the ASVAB. The scores were really good in electronics and some other stuff. And that was my first taste of freedom. And it's the first time that I actually had stability in an even playing road, because poverty doesn't care like who you are. Poverty affects all of us, you know, no matter what race you are, or no matter who you are. Like, poverty will find you and just keep you. It's like jail in your mind. And so the Air Force was the first time that I had that mindset where, oh, hey, I can eat every day, and I don't have to sleep on the floor anymore, and I can actually try and be somebody. And that was my first step. You know, when you went through the Marines, you went through the crucible, you went through like all this training, and it reforged who you were and taught you about self-esteem and leadership and all this stuff, Chris. And when you come out, and that's what I love about the Marines, when they come out, they're a version of themselves that they've never known. Even their parents don't recognize them, right? And it was the same way for me, man. Air Force basic training wasn't nearly as intense, but it was for me, it was life-changing because it was the first time I'd ever like actually completed something. You know, my first small achievement was my big 6 weeks at Lackland Air Force Base.
Yeah, but I mean, how was that as a confidence booster? I mean, like you said, I mean, you know, I'm a big believer in you know, the broad and build theory for psychology, and like small wins create you know, extra mental resources, man, for us to actually be able to have more creativity, develop and reach out for more resources that ultimately creates more opportunity in life. So, I mean, how did that like small win in the Air Force kind of start getting, you know, Rob going in life?
Well, I started, even back then, man, I remember one day I saw Saving Private Ryan and I was super fired up. And I remember on a Saturday, it was raining super hard and it was cold. And I put on my BDUs and I filled up my duffel bag full of clothes and I went running. And one of my bosses saw me on Saturday and made fun of me. Like, he was just, you know, talking shit. Like, Like, I can't believe you're doing that, you dumbass, whatever. What are you doing with your life? And I didn't even care, man. I was out there getting after it. And that was my first taste of really just being crazy and really pushing myself to do something better. And so to answer your question, it was started the quest for achievement, man. And I just tried to better myself, right? So I went to college while I was in my first enlistment. I was volunteering with Shriners and muscular dystrophy camp. I left my first enlistment with a bachelor's, 2 associates, and a minor. Like, I thought I was set. And that was my goal, man. I never even thought I'd finish college. And just to get that far, I applied to OTS and the FBI. I was turned down for both of them because of my math scores, because I can't learn math at that time. And so, which was a blessing in disguise. And so I get out, I moved to San Diego in 2002. I'm a tow truck driver and I'm sleeping on my friend's couch. So how the mighty have fallen, right? And so, like a lot of people, and this is what's important in your audience, like a lot of people, I got out and I had no idea what I was going to do. I just had some GI Bill and a friend's couch and towing trucks. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to enroll and get an MBA and see what happens. And then I just kept going, man. In my 20s, I read a Tony Robbins book, seriously, and that's what did it. I started beach running. I'm not kidding, man. And yeah, Awaken the Giant Within. And I read it. I was like, this is hot fire, dude. This guy's on it. And so that's what started like the quest, dude. So I finished my MBA. At 27 or 28, I started my first entrepreneurial venture. Like, I started a skateboarding company and I wrote my first book and just started getting into it, man. That's what started the whole thing.
Wow. So you're sharing stuff that I didn't even know about, the whole tow trucking, skateboarding company and all this. And this was once you got out of the Air Force?
Yeah. So
you're still in.
First couple of years out. And so this was like 05, 06. So I joined the reserves and 3-year break in service, got my MBA. And then I was teaching high school at the time. Like, my life is like Forrest Gump's, man. There's so many facets to it. And then I said, okay, how can I push myself even further and motivate my students? I enrolled in the doctoral program at 30. And wow. Young for a doctoral program. There are people in 50s and 60s when I'd go to residencies. And so, Chris, I learned more about myself in that program than just about anything I've ever done, about mindset, about perseverance. Because one thing I learned, and I want to impart this to the vets listening, is that you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. You just have to be persistent. Right? I have a learning disability. I finished the doctorate because I never gave up. And especially the Marines. I don't care how you perceive your intelligence. If you're persistent and you just keep going and you never quit, you will win. You don't have to be the first person across the finish line. You just got to finish.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. You're one of the most persistent guys I know, man. You're at 4 a.m. posting pictures and selfies on the beach, running with packs, flak jackets, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're one of the most motivated guys I've seen, man. So, thanks for being that example. We got some engagement. Brandon Harris says, "What's up, Warriors? Happy Veterans Day, brothers." We got Derek Morrell says, "Sup, fellas." He asked, "Is it true Robert has a Marine tattoo?" Do you have a Marine tattoo, brother?
I don't. I love that, though. And Chris, do you remember what you told me? You gave me the greatest compliment I've ever heard. You said, "You're not like any airman I've ever met."
Yeah.
From a Marine, that is a compliment.
Yeah. You're just intense. Like Air Force guys aren't intense, man. And you know what else that I admire about you the most is you're intentional. Everything means something in your movement. Like every day, I noticed that, man. The way to create rhythm in life is you have to be intentional in every movement. What you're posting on social media, how you're building your business, how you're building your brand, how you're getting in your career path, whatever. You're extremely intentional, man. I think a lot of people see that. I'm happy that you kind of honed in on a target, because it sounds like, there was a time where you stopped moving, different variables and verticals and actually started getting more focused. So when was that time? When did you start figuring out, what Rob Garcia's purpose was? When did you start figuring out your individuality and actually what drove Rob Garcia?
I like to tell people that I'm the angriest Air Force guy they're ever going to meet. And my life bears truth to that. And I always like when the Marines meet me for the first time and they kind of just assume stuff because I'm an airman, and then they have no idea, like, at 4:30 a.m., I'm in the beach doing an 8-miler, and then I'm jumping in the ocean. Like, I don't care about anything.
Yeah.
So for years, I had all this energy and all this just rage, right? And I did a lot in entrepreneurship, but it wasn't what I call results-based action. You know, when we're younger and we're figuring out the game and we're doing our businesses, we can do a lot of stuff, but it's busy work, man. It's nothing, like you said, it's shooting without a target, essentially. It's getting the 240 and just putting rounds down range, but not really like sniper scoping and trying to, fire for effect.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about it. And I'm like, instead of working my ass off and just trying to do everything, why not just focus on certain goals and only do tasks that bear fruit? The big takeaway, man, for people listening right now, think about your tasks in the day. Even when you post on Facebook, even when you talk to people, who you allow to talk to you, all these little things, do they have a result? Do they have an objective? Is it leading up to something that is an achievement task or an income goal? Because if it doesn't, you're wasting time. It's social masturbation.
Us Marines like that, man. We like that stuff. That's great, man. I mean, I've already thought of the name for this podcast episode. It's going to be Sniper Focus with Rob Garcia. Ooh, come on now. Man, I mean, that's what you got. That's what you got. So we got Brandon Harris says, I appreciate you guys allowing me to tune in to some good value before I head in for this late night gym sets. Brandon, we appreciate you, stalling that, man. Getting, this is going to hype you up for that pump in those 14, 15-inch arms, whatever you got, man.
Oh, get it, sir. Get it.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Ron Suzuki says, hey, stop Netflix to watch this. Ramen, we always appreciate you, man. We always appreciate you, Ron.
Ron's great. He's one of my favorite people.
Yes. So he's an amazing guy. So brother, I want to kind of dive into, now you found what you were passionate about, which was helping people get clarity for execution in business. So kind of tell us what kind of led up to that. What kind of failures led up to like discovering that who you are is the Warrior Strategist?
Well, I had a lot of failed ventures, and I'll be the first to admit like all the stuff I did that didn't work out, because I tried a lot of stuff, man. I wrote 8 books. I did different companies. Like I was a life coach for a while, and eventually I figured out that my aptitude, okay, so the stuff that you find out in the ASVAB, like your MOS, all the things, your aptitude are your innate skills, right? Mm-hmm. The things you like doing. And my innate skills are reading and channeling information. And that's why I write so much. That's why I make so many diagrams. And I do a lot of nerdy stuff, like create manuals for myself, things like that. And so I'm good with information.
Hey, by the way, I just want to stop you right there, because that's called a continuum, right?
Compendium. Yeah.
Oh man, see us Marines, man, we need to be eating crayons. I need crayons in my mouth right now.
And the funniest part, it's funny you mentioned that, man, because this is one of the best strategic things I've ever done. So everyone should make a compendium of business. And I'm making one. Nobody knows this. I'm gonna drop this on your show. Donald Dodson is making me a personalized compendium with a leather cover. It's gonna look like a Harry Potter novel.
There we go. You're gonna go on an epic historic journey, man. But no, I watched the YouTube video of you going over that, and that is huge. I think just someone implementing that strategy in your new program Destiny project would it would elevate anybody in whatever project that they're trying to pursue, man. That's huge.
The reason I did it, Chris, is because like an insane person, I traffic a lot of information, and I got tired of searching through all my papers and trying to locate stuff. So I just said, okay, what if I made one thing that had every like super gold and platinum level piece of information, right? So my list of influencers I know, warm client leads, like my processes for my businesses, stuff like that. So for example, I have a list here of, these are all the high-end VIPs that I know, and that's a pretty lengthy list. I'm pretty sure you're on here, Hoffman. Yeah, you are. You're right there, literally. You are on my VIP list.
Come on, man. I'm not even the last one on the kickball team either. Come on now.
I know, man. But if you make it on this list, sir, the list is long and distinguished.
I'm honored, brother.
But you guys, everybody listening should make a compendium. It doesn't have to be fancy. Mine's just graph paper stapled together. But think about the information that's most important to you, because I'm designing a new compendium now, and it's got my income goals. It's got my influencer list of people I can reach out to, my media appearances, my products I'm going to develop, just all these things, all these ideas. And you need just one centralized place, man, where you can hold it. Make a little book. Works.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I mean, it comes back down to that sniper focus, knowing exactly what you're aiming at and not being afraid to pull the trigger and fail your way forward. I think there's a saying that it says ready, fire, then aim, right? Versus ready, aim, fire. I think a lot of us ready, aim. Oh, I got to go read another book. Oh, no, I got to take another course. Aim. Oh, get another degree, aim, and then fire. And one thing I love about you, man, is you're ready, fire, and then you aim, man. But you always aim with intention and extreme focus. So back to, getting established as a warrior strategist, man, what had you kind of come up to this? Why did you start this brand, Warrior Strategist?
And that's tying into a couple of important concepts. I'm glad you asked that. So basically, for a long time, I was Dr. Rob, and I hired this coach in San Diego, and he said something very prophetic. He said, "Okay, dude, I'm just going to shoot you straight. Dr. Rob's a douchebag. You're not connecting with your audience. Nobody likes that. The branding's awful. And this is why people aren't hiring you, because they see you as aloof and standoffish." So I went through a couple of iterations because I had a company, I had services, I had clients. You know what I was missing, Chris? I was missing a brand. Yeah, think about that, dude. So yeah. I came up with the logo. I had Richard Hill, who's an Air Force vet, design this amazing cross rifle logo with chess pieces, Warrior Strategist. And then I came up with that name, the Warrior Strategist, and because think about it, the two components, like nobody ever really gets this deep in it, but there's a meaning behind it, right? The Warrior Strategist, planning and execution, right? So what I do is I plan stuff for one day out of the week, and then I execute 6 days a week. And that's what I think helps business owners so much, why my clients get better results, because I teach them to take a day, go to Starbucks, plan out their social media, plan out like their client list, like really think about what the week ahead is going to be. It's just like planning a military op, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if we just like gathered our assets, went to the battleground, and we had like an objective, but we never planned anything out. We just sent out the horde and said, okay, this is the end result, figure it out. We'd be running around all crazy. And the reason we need planning, we need strategy. And people, there's two different dichotomies, because people that plan too much just never get around to doing anything, and that's called shiny object syndrome. And then people that execute too much without planning are just jumping into it and getting crap results because they're not thinking about what they're doing. So you have figure out your ratio. My ratio is 1 day of planning, 6 days of execution.
Right. Got it. I love that, man. I think that's a shit ton of value there. Now, is there a point of the week where you have to adapt, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. And so what I do is I re-examine stuff, and every week, like I have certain taskers that I'm working towards, like goals. And then I'm mixing up my words. Like every week I have a productivity goal and some income goals. And then every day I have tasks that lead to either of those. And so it seems like real meticulous, but it's worth it, man. It's totally increased my productivity, and it's made me deadly in the business battlefield.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. It kind of reminds me of the military, right? Why go into battle without a battle plan, right? Why you got to have offenses set in, defenses set up, and stuff like that. Why go into a week where you're going to seek tons of adversity, tons of obstacles and stuff like that? Why not have everything, planned out before you go in next year? I'm the same way, man. Sunday night, I go and I plan for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, even sometimes, around 3 goals that I'm seeking to achieve in the next quarter. And I plan accordingly around those things. So I love the structure, man. It's huge. James,
I would love to have a planning session with you one of these days, because I remember like you and I were at that event, and I pulled out, like a crazy person, I'm drinking beers, and I just start pulling out these note cards. Your girlfriend's looking at me like, who is this lunatic? And I'm just scrambling out notes and like, hey, Chris, you need to do this and this and this.
I know.
This, your ebooks. And I just went crazy on you, man. It was great.
Yeah. But I mean, that's who you are, man, is you're someone that you're someone you hear what's missing in someone's business. You can bring the clarity for action very quickly, and you can listen for where there could be additional revenue streams in anybody's business. And you can create that at a drop of a hat. Now, execution, there has to be some strategy around it and stuff like that, which is, first step towards strategy is even clear that it's there. And what's awesome is you can see revenue, streams without, anybody else seeing it. So I think that's one of your superpowers, man. That's why you're one of my favorite Air Force guys.
And it's funny because I have an animosity towards a lot of the Air Force guys, believe it or not. Like, I'm one of those guys that's like, if you're an Xbox having, fat, out of shape dork that's not doing any goals or anything with your life, get away from me. And we have that reputation for a reason. I'm proud of the Air Force. I love it. But, some people are going to thrive in their environment, and a lot of people are just going to be slugs. I don't associate with slugs.
Knife hand the slugs, man.
I knife hand all the time, and I hang out with Marines way too much, but they know I'm the real deal. And honestly, like, I can't stand people of any service that don't push themselves to be great. I don't care what service you're in. You need to. I want to see hard chargers. I want people that are hungry and that are ready to get after it, no matter what they got to do.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm gonna ask you a deep question, man, and we're gonna kind of get into kind of what you are currently doing right now with this, with your Destiny project and even your veteran entrepreneur workbook that you've created, which I know that has gone pretty much viral amongst the veteran community. But brother, what do you think has gotten you this driven? What has you this hungry for it? Any ambitious vets are here just like, wow, this guy is lit up. What has you so hungry, so driven, and as hungry as you are?
It's kicked into overdrive. I did my first combat support deployment, Chris, and I know you put boots on the ground some awful places in the world, man. You've done some amazing things. I appreciate that immensely, just like all my brothers and sisters in arms. I volunteered for this deployment, and I went to Qatar. And we were running anti-ISIS operations, the entire tactical data link picture for Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria and the Arabian Gulf. Like, it's like the busiest air operations center on earth. The pressure was incredible. I deployed, and just every single day I was gonna get yelled at. Like, it was pretty miserable, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It was. Yeah. And I can't complain too much. It's an Air Force deployment. Come on, it can't be that bad. But I'm talking like, I had to go to 3 schools to even be eligible to go. Like, it was a lot upstairs, man. I had to pass these tactical courses and do a lot of stuff, man. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, get in the plane, you're leaving. No, it's like, hey, Master Sergeant, you have to be qualified, get 3 certs, go to Fort Bragg for a while with the Rangers and Delta and Green Berets and all these people, like Army hoo-ha bullshit at 5 a.m, just screaming cadences and shit and formation. Dude, it was amazing. Fort Bragg is a trip, dude. And so I got through all my courses. I go on this deployment, and then like halfway through, man. And also, I was able to get an issue of my magazine out while I was deployed, and I even got some clients. Like, I kept business going. I just had to readjust and realign. And then halfway through, man, I get the phone call, and my mom has 2 days to live. Oh. And that's like, that's one of those moments where you're like, holy shit, this is good. This is like slap in the face. Like, this is going to change your life because it just is. It's the pivot point. And so we had a final phone call, and I talked to my mom for an hour. We had this crazy emotional call. And then the next day I found out that she died in her sleep on her 62nd birthday. And at that point, my life changed forever, man. We weren't super close, but it's my mom. And and we hashed out a lot of stuff, man, because it was a rough ride. And I'm going to write about it in a book one of these days and give a TED talk on it because it was brutal. It was the hardest conversation I've ever had with somebody. And so I came back. At that point, man, I kind of just mentally checked out. I just did my job. Just showed up every day and just tried to help out the junior enlisted. I realized I wasn't going to change anything over there as an E7. Nobody cared. And so I just came back. And I came back with the fury, man. I lived out of a suitcase for months. I stayed with my sister and visited my family for the first time in 7 years in Humboldt County, my hometown. I did, and this is where it got crazy, Chris. This is the momentum, dude. You talk about the snowball effect, right? I go back to my hometown, and at the culmination of it, within 4 days, right? 4 things happened in 4 days. I released my magazine. I wrote the veteran ebook, The Veteran Entrepreneur, right? And then I got on Trish Leto and Donnie Boven's podcast. And then I had my first branded event, my first solo event, all in 4 days, man. 4 events, 4 days. And I come back to San Diego on the heels of all this. And I got on stage at Clever Talks at Mark Cuban's event, and I spoke and got broadcast to a bunch of people. And from then on, man, it just went crazy. The business took off, a ton of media interviews. My ebook sold out the pre-sale in one day. Like I made $1,000 the first day. Like it was just a frenzy. And the Warrior Strategist got strong. And it was great, man. My brand took off. And then from then on, I moved in like 15 days ago. I moved in to my dream place here in San Diego. I'm just going to pan around, but
do it, man.
This is my pad, dude. And it's what I've always envisioned that I wanted. I wanted like a crazy pad that was like kind of American Psycho, kind of like limitless, just a lot of light, a lot of space right here in part of San Diego, man. And it's waking up every day is like my dream life. Like I can't even believe a lot of times that this is me, man. This guy that failed out of high school and failed out of 2 colleges and been called stupid his whole life. Like my life is awesome, you know, but I've earned it, but it's me.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I appreciate you getting all honest and vulnerable and totally transparent around that, man. Cause it sounds like to me that you weren't really close to your mom, but there was like a missing, you know, having your mother there, there's always some sense of nurturing there. Right. But whenever the mother goes, then it's just like, holy cow, it's like a piece of your heart gone. So it's just like, okay, how am I going to fill this void? I don't know if that's kind of how you went about it, but I mean, it sounds like it's just like you went extreme, like, you know, my life is about, you know, fulfilling all my legacy or whatever it is. Your life became about something else when you came back. Did you get more attached to your morality? What was it that had you come back and was just like, you know what, like this thing is going to be it. And I'm not afraid to lose anything for it, because you did come back with a fury, man. And you have tons of momentum right now.
You want to talk about the nervous breakdown? Because I've never told this story.
Let's rock.
You're gonna be the first one.
Ever Ambitious Vet Live show, baby.
Yeah, you're gonna get the breaking news, man. All right, so I come back, right, and so I get back to San Diego, and for 10 days straight, I slept for like maybe 4 hours, and I moved 4 times in a week, and I had this job lined up for $96,000 a year, right? It's the highest paying job I've ever had with some defense contractor company. And I was just having an issue with the guy that placed me, the recruiting agency. Like the company itself was cool, but the recruiting agency guy was just kind of a knob. And so I did clever talks, and then I went right to my Air Force drill, and then I came back, and I started the job on Monday, Chris. And I just walked into that cubicle and I looked around and I was just like, oh my God, this isn't me, right? And so at lunch, the very first day, I'm sitting there with my coworkers, and, you know, I'm getting to know these guys, a new team. And one of them just says, I'm thinking about going vegan because I'm worried about climate change. And I looked at him and I almost got up and quit on the spot, because these are not my warriors. These are not my, these are spoiled millennial.
I could see your face when you said that.
Yeah. These are spoiled UPSD engineers that have parents and lives and, you know, food stuff I'm not used to. And it's just, these weren't my people. And I walked outside and I made 2 client phone calls and I made $1,400. And then I walked into my cubicle and I'm like, dude, I'm losing money being here at this dumb job. Even at $50 an hour, I'm losing money. And so that was Monday. And every day I was getting more and more stressed. It was an hour commute each way. Like I was working with Joshua Prado, who's a great dude. Like we had some talks and it was cool.
I met him. Yeah, he's a good dude.
I love Josh Prado. And I don't even think he knew like what was going on in the depths of my head and my soul. And so Friday, right, just 5 days in, like Friday, I'm in the toilet. I'm sitting there with my head in my hands crying because I'm completely sleep deprived. I'm sad about my mom. I'm just losing my brain. I don't even have an apartment. I'm like Airbnb-ing it. And so I checked my voicemail, and it's the guy from the placement agency screaming at me to get my paperwork done after he's been texting me, voicemailing me, emailing me multiple times every single day because he doesn't know how to do his job. And that was it, man. That was the final straw. So I got up, I just packed up my stuff at 11 a.m. and I left, and I drove to Balboa Park, and I had a complete and utter nervous breakdown. I did a Facebook Live to my group that terrified people. And I cried for like 40 minutes on a tree. Yeah. And then I ended up calling a veteran suicide hotline, and I talked to a counselor, and I wasn't suicidal or anything. I was just completely fried and sad about my mom. And I cried. I got out a lot of my stress. And then and that was Friday, and nobody at my job even knew I was gone till like Tuesday. and which tells you a lot right there. And I just never went back, man. And that was my commitment, right? That was like the Vikings burning the ships, you know, to victory or death. And that was it, because I said, okay, I'm never going to work for anyone again. I'm too independent. I got too much warrior fire in me, and I'm going to commit to the vets, and I'm going to make this happen. And so from then on, man, the Warrior Strategist was forged in fire and ready to kick ass. And that was literally, I will say, 20 days ago.
Yeah. And what have you created in the past 20 days?
I've just been reformulating my Facebook group, and then I created the Destiny Project, and I've got an event literally in 2 days in San Diego, the Speaker Media Boot Camp I'm doing with Manny Wolf. We have people flying in from all over the country, people buying digital passes to it. It's been amazing, man. And I have all this traction, and you linked me up with Crotech, who's been amazing, Green Zone hero. I interviewed, I had a good call with Jason Redmond, Navy SEAL author. There's just all these people, man, all this good stuff. The veteran community came out. And finally, when I did my rebranding and I got serious about the Warrior Strategist, I realized that I'd found my audience and I made the square a success. Branding plus logo plus teaching plus message. Boom. You have all four and you got your brand.
That's good, man. No, I love it. You know, this is just another testament of like some of the deepest, darkest moments of life. Like, I remember whenever I tried to commit suicide twice in 2013, did it wrong because I'm a Marine. Some of those darkest moments, you actually create some of the best content, some of the best stuff that you've ever done. And it becomes a staple that shifts your life, pivots your life forever. And it sounds like right in that moment you created, a new vision for what the Warrior Strategist was, a new branding in itself. You created a brand inside of a new brand to reinvent what the Warrior Strategist is. And I think everyone came behind you. I know I was behind you on all that, and it's been good to see everything that you've created in such a short time. I think we all know what you're capable of, man. When you get moving, I think you're an extreme high-level executor, and I think you're a better strateger. And Derek Morell says, have a bite of his celery, bro. LOL. And he says also unemployable, not a bad thing. So Derek Morell says, hey, it's not bad to be unemployable.
No, and I respect the hell out of Derek Morell. I've been trying to track him down and grab his ass as a client for many, many months. He's probably getting sick of me messaging him, but Derek's one of those dudes.
Stop running, Derek.
Derek has unbelievable talent and gifts. And that's the funniest part, is that like people that work with him know how smart he is, but Derek actually flies under the radar. And I don't think he chases fame like I do. And he's one of the most brilliant financial tacticians I've ever seen. I can look at his stuff and be like, wow, this guy knows his shit. Derek is amazing. I've had calls with him, and Derek he's unbelievable at what he does.
He's on a whole nother level of thinking. Yeah, he hides in the shadows, man, but he brings other people to the light. He's really good at building people up. So definitely on the same page, but so are you, man. So I want to kind of dive into, I know you got a few things, man, that you've been working on. Destiny Project being one. I know you've been working your ass off with that. I want you to kind of create what that is for the ambitious vet community. And then also this veteran entrepreneur ebook that you've created, which like you sold a shit ton of copies in like less than 24 hours. So like talk about your projects that you're working on right now, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. The newest stuff, like I said, was the veteran entrepreneur. So this is my new ebook. Basically what I do is I send you a printed bound copy so you can actually write in it. And this is a tactical book. So it's going to cost a little more than a regular business book. It's about, I think right now it's retailing for $197. You get a digital copy and you get the printed copy, but you're going to learn stuff that will really help your business. Kaufman's been going crazy with this book because you learn how to make like high-end consulting calls. You learn how to design a Facebook Live properly that you can sell from. I teach you income streams, like how to map out a $10,000 a month for business, how to get side income, like all these different ways, like email courses, coaching, paperback book sales, just all these ways that you'd never think of to make side income. And just skills that really help the average veteran business owner, like Facebook posts, the psychology behind them, templates for how to use them, and what result they create. So I took it to another level, man. And it really is a thinking book. And then I put in a planner as well, so you can write down like your week, how to promote your stuff on what days. So essentially, this book is good for anybody that wants to just wants to hone up their skills. And I even taught how to make like a high sale week with goods or service-based business. So
Wow.
you do both, Chris. I know you do services and you write books.
Yeah.
So you could implement, both of these.
Absolutely.
And then
no, I've definitely implemented your strategies and I've gotten some great success. So I definitely stand behind what you do, man. So yeah, talk about like, because of those strategies you teach in that book, what are some tangible results you've been able to create in your life based on those strategies?
Well, what this evolved into is when I wrote this, I had a major pivot, dude, because I wrote a section on how to be an expert in your industry and how to be a celebrity in your industry. And this was the start of my new course related around CEQ, your celebrity expert quotient, because that was the major pivot, Chris. In the last 5 weeks, you've seen me explode.
Yeah.
And it's been insane. And so, for example, like how to be an expert, I listed why, when you Google me, I'm every single result. Like I broke it down, reverse engineered it, like all these things I did that anyone can do. And it wasn't anything crazy, but I focused on building celebrity rather than building expert status. And once I identified these concepts, man, the coach I'm working with is stunned, because she's like, I've never seen this before. This is like being on board with Apple and Microsoft before they got big, because this affects every entrepreneur on earth. CEQ is going to change everything, dude. So you're talking about tangible results. I'm getting back to your question.
Yeah.
Since I implemented CEQ strategies, my inbox has never been more full. I have people trying to interview me every single day. I've raised my rates on everything. And I'm negotiating like a 10-city speaking tour. Like I have all this stuff going on, just everything augmented.
Yeah.
I adopted a celebrity strategy, and that's what I'm going to teach at my next course, is just straight up CEQ. Because for a lot of time, for years, just like a lot of people out there, I was selling myself as an expert when I should have sold myself as a celebrity first. That's an expert. And once I started acting like a celebrity, the last 5 weeks, man, I isolated all the variables and I made some crazy Rain Man charts, and that stuff just took off, dude. And for some reason, man, not for some reason, for the reasons I outlined, it just worked. So more sales than ever. I'm going to hit my first 5-figure month here very, very soon. And the launch is coming out probably December or January. We're launching 3 courses related to CEQ. And dude, it's exciting. This stuff is hot fire and is deadly for any business owner.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to see where this new idea and the strategy takes your business, because I've been, obviously being in the veteran empowerment transition group here and being involved with a lot of the veteran community, I've been able to see your veteran entrepreneur ebook go viral. I think for the ROI that's attached to a $200 ebook that's attached to that, I think it's a low cost item compared to the ROI that's attached to it if they implement it, right?
Right.
Tools are only as good as the person that hands it. You can bring the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Same concept. You definitely got to drink the water, but man, you're just doing some great things as far as giving tactical how-to advice on how to position yourself as an expert and a celebrity out in their specific industry. So that's awesome. So what about this Destiny project, man? Talk more about that.
Oh man, this was such a headache. My business partner was going to kill me.
Yeah.
So basically the Destiny project, in the middle of, prepping for an event, doing all this stuff and all this legwork and getting the house and getting the videographers and getting the photographers, all this stuff, I said, okay, there's a lot of people that want to go to this event or get the digital pass, but they can't afford it. Their businesses just are struggling and they're not making it. What if I fast track them? What if I gave them AIT? What if I gave them a tech school equivalent? We in the military, we go to these tech schools or A schools and we get advanced accelerated training. What if I did that for business owners? So in 8 days, I wrote an 11 module course worth about $2,500. Then I threw in $2,000 worth of automation training. And then I just gave it away to my Facebook group. I literally gave them an entire course and they're loving it, because now they know how to write. They know how to do the big 3. They know how to make ebooks. They know how to make courses. They know how to make consulting calls. And now they know how to do automation so they can sell 24/7 and make sales while they sleep. And I taught them all that stuff. It's been great, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're teaching them how to create freedom out of the uniform, fight for freedom out of the uniform. I think that's huge. That's great, man. I freaking love that. And I already downloaded the actual file inside your group and was reading on it. And it's very practical how-to advice that you can literally apply right now and start creating tangible results.
And let's let your audience know that anybody can sign up. And there is no, Chris, you can back me up on this. There is no catch.
Yeah.
There is no upsell. You cannot hire me out of this project. You don't. I never even ask for your email. You literally sign up, get the goods, and you can go about your merry way. I don't care. I just want to see you make money. That's my way of giving back to the community that supports me.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Yeah, and wow, I mean that's huge value. I mean, you said that's worth over like $2,500 or $2,200, so that's huge, guys. I mean, he's giving away free gifts. I mean, that's how you actually position and be known. We talk a lot about inside this group, well, how do you become known for something in the industry? Well, it's like you got to give away a shit ton of value. Maybe it looks like building a good street team that he taught me how to do with my ebook. Maybe it looks like building relationships with influencers, how to recruit those, which is in his ebook, Inside the Destiny Project. All this stuff, I mean, it literally just comes from, coming down to what is your end goal? What is the problem you want to solve? And then building people around you that are going to allow you to get there. Well, guys, if you're trying to get there, if you're trying to narrow the time frame, and you're tired of going to college and business courses and stuff like that. It's funny because me and Derek Morrell were just having a chat on this on Facebook not too long ago. And we realized that the biggest single thing that business schools are missing is the tactical how-tos as far as personal growth, how to build relationships, how to create social capital, all that kind of stuff with people that already have results. So, I mean, I love that you're bringing in your gift, your talent of speed learning and actually applying that to veterans, which I think there's the reason why there's national universities. I think there's a reason why there's University of Phoenix is where you can take highly accelerated courses because us veterans are really good at execution. So any ambitious vet that's inside this tribe, I give you guys a charge to action to actually go and figure out who Dr. Rob Garcia is, the Warrior Strategist. Figure out who he is. You've heard his why, where he came from literally nothing to actually becoming this enraged executor to stand for something big in the world. And that is for veteran business owners to actually be able to execute at high levels. This guy is one of the most genius strategists I've ever met in my life. And I'm not trying to be grandiose because I've actually used your strategies, man, your strategies for my ebook. So definitely can't say too much about Rob Garcia. So brother, before we go ahead and let you go, I want to go ahead and ask you, what are the 3 golden grenades that you want to drop in here to blow up the Ambitious Vet group before you go that could help them, implement tomorrow in their path of creating a brand that impacts out of the uniform?
Okay. I'm not Ty Lopez. I'm going to give advice that actually works for people.
Bring it, man.
I speak tactical. I don't speak bullshit strategic or operational. So here's what we do. If you want to be more successful, and I'm talking tomorrow, you implement a plan immediately to create social currency like you and Derek Morrell talked about. Social currency means you create value for other people. So the first thing you need to do is reach out to 3 influencers. And you can categorize them according to their wealth. You can categorize them according to visibility, or maybe they have, like me, I have a magazine. But reach out to 3 people that can better you. Make that relationship, offer to work for them for like a week, just helping them out. Get on a call with them and create value for them 2, 3, 4 times. Like build that relationship. There's a reason I deal with 7-figure coaches and people with 8-figure portfolios and Delta Force and Green Berets and New York Times bestselling authors, because I put in the work for 3 years and I built value for these influencers, and now they're coming back and reciprocating with me. That's the first thing you need to do. Put your humility aside and offer to work for somebody bigger for a week or 2. And all you have to do, I had nothing. I had no money. And I was just like, I want to promote your stuff. I like this and this about you. I think you're great. What do you need? And I was very, very specific. So that's number 1, is to start recruiting VIP influencers and just get 3 and just put in the work and just help them out. Number 2, create a sellable product on the side for passive income. And the 3 fastest ones are ebooks, consulting courses, or calls. So ebooks, courses, or calls. I would go with ebooks. Lowest barrier to entry, easiest to make, zero money up front, make them off canva.com. And if you need to know how to do it or you need some advice, feel free to reach out to me or join my Facebook group, Success Engineers with Dr. Rob. I've done thousands of dollars in sales. I've sold out one pre-sale course. I've sold out 2 pre-sale ebook launches, doing launch stuff. It's great. Passive income's awesome. So that's the first 2. So create a passive income product, and then recruit influencers for your network. Number 3, teach your industry. This is the biggest one. If you teach your industry, you start doing Facebook Lives, you start doing really meaningful posts or whatever consistently, create some kind of branded show. So Chris, you've got your show. Everybody knows when to tune in. Everybody knows what you're doing. You got your branded ads. You know, you're promoting it all over the place. You're creating value for all these people. People see you as that guy, right? Everybody needs to teach their industry using some type of medium, whether it's YouTube videos, a blog, Facebook Lives. I have the Experts Lounge almost every morning at 7:30. Not this week because I have an event and I'm just going crazy, but do it consistently. Create a teachable platform, and that's when people start seeing you as both a celebrity and an expert. So whatever it is that your industry is, teach it, brand it right, create those digital branded ads, and that's how you get going. So that's my big 3.
It's huge. It's huge. It's something that you guys can implement literally starting tomorrow. I talk about the one thing all the time. Find out one thing, small or big, every single day to create that compound interest. Dr. Rob, man, I appreciate your time, brother, for who you are, for the military community, for civilians, all that, as far as just getting out there, being next to you, being up at 4 a.m., posting those selfies of you in flak jackets, all this kind of stuff, trying to be a Marine. I totally got it. But brother, you just, how moto, how driven, how consistent, and the levels of high execution that you do, man, you inspire a lot of us, man. So before we go ahead and let you go, where can people go and find more about Rob, the Warrior Strategist?
You can find me in my Facebook group, Success Engineers with Dr. Rob, or you can go to my main site, yournextlevelofsuccess.com. Those are the 2 best ways, or just find me on Facebook. You'll see my dumb face everywhere. And I encourage you to reach out. If you don't know me and you just like my stuff and you need some help in business, just reach out. I got a ton of free stuff, and I'll help you out. And I want to thank everybody real quick. First of all, happy Veterans Day. Happy birthday to the Marines.
Right.
And then I appreciate everybody that serves and helps us in the defense of freedom for this great nation. I appreciate all of you, which is why I put in so many damn free hours helping vets out. I will never complain about the amount of hours I put in helping people to lift them out of poverty.
It's huge, man. I love this new poverty message that you have, because I think a lot of us deal with that nowadays. So I think that's huge, pulling people out of poverty mindset. So that's huge. Again, man, thanks for your time. This podcast is going to be called Sniper Focus. For those of you guys that just tuned in late, go back and listen to this from the beginning to end. This is tons of golden grenades inside this. That's why we've been going for about an hour. Rob Garcia doesn't ever disappoint as far as giving real, simple, practical advice for you tomorrow to start implementing, to start becoming known in your industry, not only as a celebrity, but an actual expert that can create revenue within a week, guys. So I'll post all of his connections and ways to find him in the comments below. Rob, I just charge you, man, go out and answer any questions in the comments below, man. Make time to do that. And guys, we already know that you're warrior made, but to become passion driven, he's showing us a pin.
This is my pin by Pins by Bob. You'll notice my logo on here. So Chris,
nice.
one thing I did want to mention to people, get branded products for your company. That's when people really start taking you serious. So for example, Bob French, maybe this incredible pin, retractable bolt. It's got a little rifle on the side and it's got my logo. So thank you, pins.net. Yeah, this is no joke, man. The Marines love these pins, and it's a bullet. But that's something that people can take that's important, is to take your brand seriously. Do things that really augment it as a brand. And that's something that'll help get you on the radar.
No, I definitely agree. It takes your brand seriously. I have pins on vet training coaching that I hand out everywhere I go.
Love it.
And if you plug it in, man, you can sit there and be a pointer on a cell phone too, because everyone likes to use smartphones now. Me, I'm still on a dumb phone. So Well, there you have it, Ambitious Vets. Episode number 38 of the Ambitious Vet Show with the Warrior Strategist himself, Rob Garcia, guys. It was hilarious. I wish you would have saw him knife hand the video, the camera, talking about slugs in the Air Force. That guy is one of the most passionate, most intense Air Force men I've ever seen in my life, but he's also one of the most hardest working and most consistent man in the veteran community as a business owner, guys. If you don't know Rob Garcia, definitely go and check him out. All his links will be in the show notes below. Guys, don't forget to go and subscribe and rate and review this podcast. Your feedback is the lifeblood of this podcast. If you guys have any feedback as well, please reach out and email me. You can either visit our website at vettrainingcoaching.com or email me personally at choffman, that's 2 F's, 2 N's, at vettrainingcoaching.com. We would love to hear from you, guys. And lastly, we already know that you're warrior made, but to become passion-driven, guys, go out and utilize just one golden grenade the Warrior Strategist gave you inside of this interview, guys, and I promise you, and maybe 3 months, 6 months, or maybe even a year from now, who cares, guys? You will be living that passion-driven life. Now, guys, let's go get it.